Civil War movable field artillery, and how it had expected and unexpected outcomes. Movable field weapons mainly consisted of artillery, and artillery got its name from the weight of its ammo and the type of gun it was. There were different types of guns like howitzers and mortars, and each cannon was named after how heavy its ammo was, and this is how we get terms like 12-pounder and 16-pounder. Speaking of ammo, one of the ammo types used during the Civil War was grape shot or canister shot. These were tightly packed balls in a canister, and when shot out would go everywhere. At close range, this was very deadly, and was used very often at close range. However, with the advanced rifles at the time, they began to outrange canister shot. This sort of made canister shot useless, since you could kill the artillery before the artillery could kill you. Another type of ammo was percussive shot. This would explode after being fired because a fuse was attached to it and gunpowder was put inside. When the gunpowder exploded, it would turn into sort of shrapnel and attack soldiers that way. You can sort of think of it as a longer range canister shot, except less deadly. But the fuses on these were very unreliable and sometimes didn't work. This caused them to be very ineffective. The last ammo type was solid shot or round shot. This was the simplest of all the ammo types and the most reliable. It was simply just a ball of iron. There wasn't really much to it. However, it was very good against clustered troops, even though it doesn't have any sort of special effects. But it still had the problems every ammo type had with every single cannon, and that it would sometimes blow up on the users, and the recoil on cannons was just so large. Like a lot of other things, movable field artillery required organization to be effective in combat. Usually, 8 men were assigned to a piece of cannon. 4 would help reload and reposition the cannon. 1 man would be the gunner, and 3 men would help out with ammunition. There were 2 main types of movable field artillery. One was the howitzer, which shot at a straight or slightly angled trajectory. The main howitzer used by both armies was the Napoleon. This was favored for its versatility and its combat effectiveness. The other type were mortars. These artillery pieces shot at a very high trajectory and were used to fire over ditches, trenches, and even fort walls. This would come into great effect at the end of the war, when both sides are fighting with trenches and forts. Even the first battle in the Civil War was all artillery. The siege of Fort Sumter. In this siege, the Confederacy completely destroyed the Union fort of Fort Sumter. However, since they completely destroyed it, they rendered it useless to them too. This just goes to show how artillery can be predictable yet unpredictable.